Two? No. Do I start now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just do it like I'm sitting by the fire, right? Oh, bonjour, Wapshka, Washke, Stitnakas, Mount Dodam, Makwade Mama, Tikmaking Donjaba. My spirit name is White Deer. I'm from the Loon clan. My relative is the Bear. I come from the Whitefish Lake First Nation. Uh, the fireside chat is what we're doing, and the teachings are about whatever is supposed to be talked about is talked about. Uh, Today, I would like to talk about the teaching of our personal humanness and how we make that the center of our medicine wheel. The teaching of our humanness is learning to visit those doorways, like the doorway of our humanness, our behaviors, our attitudes. Because sometimes what happens is we put our humanness in a doorway and we're wondering why we're out of balance. Because, for example, sometimes I put the center of my medicine wheel is the addiction. Sometimes I put that in the center and I'm wondering why I'm getting out of balance because I only visit my humanness once in a while. But the addiction has control and is the center of my medicine wheel, and my world revolves around the addiction instead of my humanness. So I ask the grandmothers and grandfathers to help me with that each and every day to keep my center of my medicine wheel, my personal humanness. And I go visit the doorway of mental health helper. I go sit in that doorway and I sit there sometimes for a few hours while I'm helping somebody or someone comes to me for help and asking me for direction and guidance. And I go visit that doorway as a helper for mental health. And sometimes I put my hat on as an elder who has some of those teachings that might help and guide people to find the center of their medicine wheel so that they don't stay in that doorway and seem and act like they're out of balance in life. And I like to look at all things in terms of medicine wheel teachings. It helps me to seek balance in life. It helps me to celebrate who I am as a human being. It helps me to give direction and guidance to my family, to myself, to my community, and to the people that come out and sit around that sacred fire. And that fire helps them to find their center of their personal humanness. And one of the teachings I know about that fire is that that fire is me and I am that fire. We're interchangeable. And when I talk about medicine wheel teachings, the sacred fire is usually the center of that wheel, and that I am that fire, and that fire is me. Because whatever I place upon that fire, if I place kindness and gentleness on that fire, the people that come to that sacred fire will experience the warmth that comes from that gentleness and kindness, and that warmth that comes from that human being, and that warmth that comes from that sacred fire. So I like to use that teaching in my daily life. What it is my choice of what kind of wood that I'd like to burn that day. You know, if I want to be miserable, I put that sacred that wood into that sacred fire of misery. That's the kind of fire I'm gonna burn that day, is to not feel so good about myself and be miserable. So but today I choose to burn gentleness, kindness, uh, to see myself as a special and sacred human being. Today I choose to look at myself in a different way than I did 32 years ago or 33 years ago, where the center of my wheel was the addiction and the trauma in my life. And my world revolved around the trauma and the addiction. Where today I begin to celebrate who I am as a human being, that I'm beautiful, I'm sacred, I'm special as a human being. I'm special because of the sacred fire that burns inside of me. I choose to burn uh, good, positive wood now in the sacred fire that I carry. I choose to burn gentleness, kindness, all of the seven grandfather teachings in that sacred fire that I burn today. I burn respect. And sometimes I have to learn what respect was. Because in my previous life, I thought respect was telling somebody to F off, or I thought that was respect. And I had to learn what respect was. I had to learn what the grandfathers and the seven grandfather teachings were. I knew in my head, but I didn't know in my heart and my spirit what the seven grandfather teachings were. And with the guidance and direction of that fire and the guidance and direction of my personal humanness, I learned the teachings of the seven grandfathers, the teachings of that sacred fire. And I walk with that sacred fire today, each and every day. And I walk with the teachings of the seven grandfathers. And that becomes the wood that I burn in the sacred fire. That is the center of my wheel today. And I celebrate who I am as a human being. Miigwech.